So welcome to our class, our yoga for hip openers, and our theme tonight is patience, just patience. And we're going to start with poses that kind of serve as a check-in, to see how your hips are feeling, and seeing where your level of flexibility is, especially in the beginning of the class. And at the end of the class, we can check in again to see if we've created a little more mobility, range of motion, flexibility. So this takes time. It requires patience, persistence, and compassion. And so let's go ahead and get going. We're going to lay on our back, and this is the best way to do a check-in. But also we learn how to get messages. So when you're working with a low back and your hips, sensations translates to information. So have a blanket for some of the seated postures. So we're going to bring our feet to the end of the mat, grab the back of the hamstrings, and go ahead and roll down slowly. And I'd like you to tuck your shoulders under and settle your low back, your mid back and low back into the floor. And rest your hands onto your belly. Go ahead and draw the chin down towards your sternum and close your eyes. Take a few rounds of breath through the nose. And with each exhalation, allow your body, your back body, to settle into the floor. Give yourself permission to relax. So taking another full breath, let's release your arms back down to the mat next to your hips. And now walking the feet maybe so that they are in line with your knees and your hips. And we're going to just start off with just an alternating knee into chest. So first, take the right knee into the chest and just hug it in. So again, we're starting off easy here. And as we go along, then we gradually build up our practice. So we start here on the floor, and then it's sort of like we climb this mountain. We start to work a little harder as we move along. So, and then we come back down. So we're doing this up and down sort of with our yoga poses. And let's take a nice rotation of the foot. So rotating through the ankle joint, take a big deep breath. And as you exhale out, we're going to reverse that rotation. And just start to notice how the back is feeling, the hips, if there's any tightness. Then go ahead and pause there with the ankle rotation. Bring your foot back down to the mat. Now let's go ahead and hug the left knee into your chest. And draw the navel towards the spine. Let the mid back settle into the floor. And now go ahead and take a nice rotation through the left ankle joint. And there might be some little kinks or some crackling in there. And just want to lubricate that ankle. Take another full breath. Let's pause and now reverse that. Very good. And then hold. Now hug in just one more time, holding that stretch into your hip and low back. And now we'll take the left foot down. Now slide both legs across your mat so the legs are straight. And now we're going to send both arms up and over the crown of your head. So as you reach back, let the hands rest to the floor, the back of the hands onto the ground, the palms facing up towards the ceiling. And now just wiggle your toes and your fingers. With your eyes closed, just kind of get those sensations through the legs, through the arms, seeing what you're feeling what you're seeing, whatever. So we're going to go side to side. Let's hug the right knee into the chest. Nice big stretch. And now inhale, reach the arms overhead. And now exhale, left knee into chest and hug. And now reach the arms overhead. Good. Big deep breath. And as you exhale, pull the belly in, hug the knee to the rib cage. Reach the arms overhead. Nice. And now left knee into chest and hug. And reach the arms back over the head. Big deep breath. Exhale as you hug the right knee in. Now inhale, reach the arms overhead. And exhale as you hug the left knee in. And reach the arms overhead. And 2 more times. So big deep breath. Exhale, hugging the right knee in and holding. Inhale over the head. And last time, exhale, left knee in and hugging. And now reach the arms over the head. This time changing, you're going to bring the knee in towards your chest. And now we're going to just get into the ball socket joint of the hip. So bring your hand on your knee and just take a small little circle here of the knee. And I've got my left hand on my left hip. So I'm not rocking the hip. I'm really making all of this movement from the ball socket joint. And I'm going to pause and now reverse your circle. Just notice if there's any, pauses, or if there's any grinding or any anything that any sensations you're noticing. Now pause. Now let's add this into a little work. So now we're going to release our arms, hands to the mat, and now circle the knee around. Now you can keep your left hand on your left hip point, but now I'm just circling the knee, keeping my abdominals strong, and then you're going to pause. And now reverse. And you can make a small circle, or if you like, you can do a big circle. But it's a really nice way to work through the ball socket joint of the hip. And then you're going to pause. Hug that knee in, holding, and breathing. Release your right leg, reach your arms back over the head, taking a big, deep inhale. As you exhale, hug your left knee into the chest and hold. Now relaxing the mid back and low back into the floor. Take your left hand on the knee. My right hand is on my hip point. And then I'm just going to stir the knee. So stirring, all right, just a small circle. And we're really thinking more of fluidity and moving through the synovial fluid of the hip. And then we pause and go ahead and reverse your circle. Keep the belly strong, keep it firm. Try to not let the hips rock too much side to side. And then you're going to pause. Hug the knee in, release your low back, mid back into the floor. Take another full breath, release that. Now we let our hands rest to our hips. And now you take a bigger circle. And this is a little more work, a little more movement. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, pause, and now reverse. Abdominals are working as you move this leg. Do one more circle, and now pause. Hug in. Beautiful. Release that foot down to the mat. And now hug the right knee into your chest. Left leg should be straight. Okay, and now we'll come into a twist. So taking your left hand on the outside of your right knee, take it up and over into a twist. Reaching the arm, the right arm, across the floor. And maybe even turning your head away from that bent knee. Close your eyes. Relax your arm. Notice what you're feeling in the outer hip. Maybe the IT band. Maybe you're feeling a little stretch here in the low back. Take another full breath. And as you exhale out, roll onto your back and come into your upside down four, your hip stretch, flexing your right foot. Maybe wrapping the hands around that left hamstring. Now this is a pretty intense little stretch, so try not to force or strain. Some of you may choose to keep that foot down on the floor and maybe just gently pushing into the inner thigh. Good. Take a couple more rounds of breath. And take another inhalation. Now taking your left hand on your foot, your right hand. So this is like cradling the baby. So maybe you're hugging that knee in a little closer and stretching that left leg out across the mat. Or maybe you're going to keep that knee bent, right? The left foot on the mat. You choose, but now we're just going to rock side to side. So this is like cradling the baby, and my hips are very tight. So this is as far as I can get my knee towards my body. But I am just mainly not concerned about that right now. I just want you to move maybe a little bit side to side. Maybe if you want that upside down four, you can do it that way, where you're gently moving, rolling from hip to hip. Very good. And then just pause there, resting both feet down to the mat. Let's take the left knee, hug it in towards your chest. Right leg extends out across the mat. Just pause there, coming into your twist, your knee down twist. So you're going to take your right hand on the outside of your left thigh, roll it up and over into your twist, reaching the left arm across the floor. And taking about 3 more breaths. And just really relaxing that arm so that we feel this stretch through the front of the chest, maybe through the shoulder. But if we let the arm just kind of be limp, we breathe into that amazing stretch of your hip, your outer thigh. And these are all check-in poses. And when we come to the end of our class, we can recheck and see how things have changed for us. So take another full breath, and as you exhale out, roll onto your back, coming into your upside down four. Now drawing the knee up, checking in to see what we're feeling here. Relaxing the shoulder blades down. Softening the face. And just taking 2 more rounds of breath. And now coming into like a pigeon pose. You're going to send your right leg across the mat. I'm holding onto the outside of my foot, the edge of my foot, bringing my leg a little closer to me, or I'm going to keep my upside down four. That might be a better choice for you today. It's a better choice for me. And then I'm just going to gently rock side to side, roll through that low back, giving that a little love, but also just getting a little more information here about the hip, the tightness. Good. And that low back. Very good. So let's go ahead, hug both knees into your chest and just kind of squeeze in Take another inhalation. And as you exhale, let's go ahead and roll to our side and come into a seated position. So this time, like if your hips were really feeling super tight, then I would suggest go ahead and fold your blanket or any pillow that you have, maybe a firm pillow, and bring it into a place in the middle of your mat where you can come into a seated, easy cross-legged pose. So starting in Suasana and just relaxing, taking those shoulders back and down. Good. And so to bring the fingertips out to the side, and we're going to inhale, float the right arm up next to the ear. As you exhale, walk the left fingertips out and keep this right hip grounded and settled down. So don't allow it to lift. So take that side stretch. Take about 3 breaths. And one more inhalation. Very good. And now go ahead and walk the hand back up. Let's do the other side. So take an inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale as you walk the right fingertips to the edge of the mat. I'm staying cupped in my hands and I'm dropping both sit bones down so that I create more space, but we're also working through the side of the hip, the outside of the gluteus. And breathe in deep and wide. Maybe if you want a little more torso, stretch in that side body, then you can bend the elbow. And take another inhalation. As you exhale, come all the way up. Now this is where we're going to move into the hips. So fingertips in front of the shin. So right now I have my left shin in front. So just kind of make a note that the right or left shin that you have in front. That will matter in stretching your hip. So you cup your fingers and then you walk those fingertips slowly forward. Remember to, if you want, you can bring the elbows, the forearms down. And pause here for 3 breaths. And just take one more inhalation. And as you exhale, walking your hands back up towards your shin. Let's complement our forward fold with a back bend. So taking my fingertips behind my hips, drawing the shoulder blades together. Lift up your chest, lift your heart. Come into that beautiful back bend. Feeling the expansion of the chest and breathing into the lower lobes of the lungs. Take one more inhalation. And as you exhale, go ahead and walk your fingertips back. Now this is where we're going to switch. You're going to take whatever foot is in the back and bring it forward. So readjusting the feet, grounding those sit bones. Bring your fingertips on either side. Starting with our side bend, reach the right arm up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, walk the fingertips gently out towards the edge of the mat. Rotate the shoulders slightly back and breathe. Good. One more inhalation. As you exhale, release that right hand back down to your side as you walk your left hand towards your hip. Stay to the center. Take an inhale, left arm reaching up. As you exhale, walk your right fingertips towards the edge of the mat, keeping that fingertips cup, reaching up and over, relaxing the hips down, relaxing your knees, opening up the side body. And just taking one more full breath. Now releasing that hand back down. This is where we're going to test the opposite hip. right? So fingertips in front of the shin. Stay tall and long in your spine. As you spider walk your fingertips out and pause, remember patience. And sensation is information. Being compassionate to wherever your body is today. Some of you will stay here. Maybe some of us will release now. When I bring my elbows down, sometimes it's a little much on the back, right? So keep long and tall. If you're feeling your back start to tighten up. Good. Take another full breath. Now walk your hands back to your shin. Let's bring your fingertips back so we get that counter pose, right? So you draw the shoulder blades together, open up the chest, lift your heart, open up the lungs, the chest, and take a few breaths so that we expand through the rib cage, getting lots of air into the body. Very good. One more full breath. Nice. And then go ahead and walk your hands back to your hips. Good. Bringing your hands onto your knees. Let's draw the knees together. Nice stretches here for your hips, your lower back, and your legs. So hold on to the back of the legs. Roll all the way down. Good. Settle and soften those shoulder blades into the floor. And now taking one knee at a time into your chest and giving yourself a big hug. Maybe gently rocking side to side, hip to hip. And let's check and see what we've done here this afternoon. Let's see what those legs are, where they're at. Good. And are coming into happy baby. So this is a really big hip opener on our back. So we take the knees out wide. Knees are wider than our torso. And bring your arms into the inside of the inner thighs. So you're just resting the arms, the inner thighs. You're going to flex your feet, taking your peace sign fingers or your middle finger, index finger around the big toe. Take the feet up into happy baby. And so this to me feels really pretty good. You know, typically if I were to do this early on in our class, it would be way too much for me. Would not feel so good. So I'm hoping that you're feeling that hip openers have worked for you. You're going to rock gently side to side. Moving through the low back. Good. And then coming back together, bring the bottom of your feet together into a bound angle pose position. And now we're going to release our feet down to the floor. Stretch your legs across the mat. And we'll just spend a couple of minutes here in our final relaxation, letting the feet and the knees roll open. Palms facing up. Come into a natural breath. And start to scan through the body. And just notice how the circulation, how you feel this energized and tingly. Little areas of the body that were tight are now open. And drawing one knee at a time into your chest, giving yourself a big hug. Take another big deep breath in. And as you exhale out, roll over to your right hip and shoulder. And pause there for a moment. When you're ready, you're going to push up. Coming back into your easy cross. So hands to the heart. and honoring yourself and your practice today. Bow your chin. The light in me salutes that light in you, and together we say,